Okay, hello. In this video, I'm going to go one step further. You probably don't have to go to this much detail, but if you want to show off, why not? We're going to go and do some pop rivets on our truss structure over here, just so when we do a big simulation, we can see what is actually happening in this. So we've done our previous example of a rivet, how this is our CAD model of a rivet, and we even did an example where we drilled a hole inside our truss in our another model. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually model those rivets through all the holes here. And we'll see if we can use those to connect our bodies together. So let's first talk about where do we want to actually have our rivets connected. If we look at our object, now first thing I'm going to do is, just for simplicity, I believe I can press, can I hover, I believe, when I go to select, which select do I want? Can I do that? And then can I press right click and can I hide? Yep, okay, and then I can do it again over here. With H is, no, 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 H is hole. You don't want a hole. Hide is V. Okay, so R for visibility, cool. Just press that, press V. Alright, so let's just look at half of the structure here. We want to do our holes, right? So we want to pick this over here will be like a location where our hole will be, because that's where, because it's connecting through, this is connecting through three pieces of aluminium, and so it's going to be like a pin joint. Now, unlike with our actual truss analysis, we want this ideal this fictional point over here that is perfect. That is where all three of our trusses, as we see, these lines represent our trusses. Now, in the real world, we can't do that because we can't do something on a pin, so we have to instead do our structure in an area that is to the best of our abilities. So, two things we have to do before we can do this. We have to actually modify the base of our truss, because this over here doesn't go all the way through. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go extrude. Just press this shape. No, I don't want you to cut. I want you to... Oh, you're going to be bad, aren't you? We want to hide... You're going to be so much trouble for me. So everything up to body 14. I just got to remember... So I just got to remember up to body 14. What I'm going to do is I just want to extrude this out a bit more because join, let's just, yeah. Okay, then let's just go show our bodies again. And we'll cut this later when we get to our piece of alum, when we get to our base plate. We'll actually cut both of these. So we want to do a location over here. Now for this particular one, I'm going to change my display settings from visual style to, instead of either shaded with visible edges only, or I want to do hidden edges. So I can actually start to see where is visibly a good location for me to do that hole. So you obviously want some place here in the center. Is there a perfect mathematical equation for it? No, there really isn't. Is there a way we can be sneaky? Well, we can try. I know this works with other CAD software. Can we do a circle? We can do a circle based off 3 tangents. So if we want, we can try to be super, super smart and pick a place that's in the center of all this mass over here, to give us the best sort of, like the most distance from the hole to the edge. Because the weakest part is going to be the closest part where a hole is to the edge. And so if we have them all equidistant, it should fix that. So we want to show off this specifically, we want the geometry that's behind this. So we want to press body. We want this body, and we want this body to also be involved in our thing. Now it's not doing the whole body, unfortunately, but we will just have to make do with. Can we do it from the other side? We might be able to project and include. We might be able to say, yo fam, include this line and include this line, please. Yes. So now if we go back here and we press OK. So now we have these three lines. This line over here, this line over here, and this line over here. What we're going to do is we're going to go to create. We're going to create a circle. We're going to make it with 3 tangents. So we want this line is going to be 1 tangent, this line is going to be another tangent, and this line is going to be another tangent. And oh my gosh, could you please go inside here? Why did it do it? Oh, of course, that's also a right answer, but it's not the answer I want. No. Wow, this software. Is that even a right? It is a right answer. Oh, you are so annoying. You were so close. We're like Icarus. Creates a circle, select 3 lines that the circle is a tangent to. Yeah. Yeah, thanks. But there's like infinite options. Alright. How can we do this? Can we trim? We can't trim. Okay, what if we force it with our own lines? Will that work? I know we can do would the midpoint formula work? No. So let's go and make a circle. Let's try it again. Circle, and let's say if we give it, if we're picking these shorter lines, there we go. Okay, so we just have to make a shorter line. So that's a circle. So that's showing the distance. Now, when you're doing your real practical designs, just guess it by eye, because otherwise it's going to be quite difficult for you to do it otherwise. And actually, now that I think about it, we actually don't want to do this inside line because the metal goes all the way down to the bottom here. So it was a silly decision there to actually get the inside line because I realised there's more aluminium there anyway. So we want it to actually be closer to here. So we want this line and this line and this line. There we go. That's a better circle, I think. So way too big, this circle. But what this circle is doing, excuse me, it's giving us a centre. So we can then press this center of this circle and we want our pop rivets. Let's say we're picking 2mm pop rivets. Circle diameter of 2. Alright. So now we can finish that sketch. We can go and make our pop rivets. Let's go and extrude, and we want to press this over here. And we want our particular shape to go. Make sure we definitely pick a new body for this. So we want it to go that way, and then we want it to, we also want it to go the outside through here. Right. Now I'm just trying to visually guess this. If I press OK, now let me hide. Can I? I believe you can right click and say, is there a way to just, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. You can just right click and press isolate. Lovely. Okay. So what I want to do though, is I want to, right click, unisolate. I do want body 2, body 4, and body 10. Body 2, body 4, body 10, because I want to make something looking pretty cool over here. I want to make a revolve around this. Could I be bothered to do that? I mean, I really should. If I'm going to all this trouble. Alright, so if I have this sketch over here and I want to do this and I want to extrude, and this particular one I want to go, I want to look like that, but I want to, for this particular one, I want to hide these. and I want to join. I want to make it look like this, and I'm pretty sure, is it 10, right? Yeah, 10. So I can do the same thing over here, where I want to extrude. Can I just press that face? I think I can, yes. It's 30 degrees, or was it 45? Let's just go 45. And I don't want it to be 0.14, I want it to be I think it's 0.8. It's 1.4 plus 1.4, yeah. 0.8 should go to there, and I don't want you to delete you, so I want you to join. Cool, so I have over here a nice looking pop rivet. And for this one, let's say these pop rivets are not aluminium. So we want to make this one, we want these pop rivets to be made out of steel, because they actually are made out of steel. So now when I right click, I should be able to press unisolate. Oh my gosh, close. Right click, unisolate, we have the whole body here. So like our previous task, we're going to go and copy it up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, yada 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 yada. So let's just do that for now. Let's go and create. We want to pattern along a path. I'm glad we kept these paths over here at the start because they are amazing in helping us do our entire project. We don't want extent, we want spacing, so we can be accurate. We want 96, which means if everything is correct, we should have our, and we want more than 3, we want, cool, we want that. And this last one over here, we're going to have to adjust somehow to have a, because we're going to have our rivet, but then we're also going to have a location for where the force is pushing down, but we will deal with that in due time. Alright, so we have those rivets over there, and then we could probably, do we want to copy paste? Well, we can definitely copy paste them to the top one. Or do we just draw a new rivet? But so we have these over here now. If you notice, if we hide our lovely new bodies we made, there's no hole inside the original structure. So what I'm going to do is I want to see if we can remove, select target body. We've got to do this one at a time. Oof, that is going to be a while. Right, so we're going to be drilling the holes. Now, here's the issue we have. I'm going to demonstrate this over here at the top. Yeah, I'll demonstrate this with the top. So over here, we have two members. This over here is body 3, and this over here is body 10. If I was to just go over here, make a shape, yep, and then I wanted to extrude that shape through here, right, we could cut that, but as soon as I do that extrusion, now it has joined these two objects. I think it's joined the objects together. Well, actually, it didn't in this case. So sometimes I can go through without doing an object, but sometimes you get to the issue where it does actually join objects together if you cut them. So the safer way I have found, especially if we want to cut through some objects but not the other objects, is we can use the hole function. Hold on, I'm going to pause the video because I want to show you a demonstration of how it doesn't work, because that was annoying me previously. Right, never mind. I got it mixed up with the... If you have a join function, it's going to naturally want to just join with all the objects, so that's where you have to hide it. But cutting isn't that much of an issue. So there are several ways that... There are at least 2 ways we can do this. We can finish our sketch. We can press this particular... We can press this shape over here and then go backwards, right? And it's going to cut through everything, including our rivet that we just made, but we could also hide our rivet and press OK. And so now it's just cut through these individual. It's cut through body 10, cut through body 4, and it's cut through body 2. And then when we reveal our original rivet, it is still there and everything is great. Alright, so we have that shape. The other option we can do, because we know our sizes are very accurate, we can press the H button to do a hole. We can do multiple holes. So we can press over here. If we press this, I believe we can. I know we just want to do this. We want to press the face. We can press this face over here, right? And I've already, our hole's just going all the way through, which that makes sense. We don't have to worry about our whole top. We just want to do a simple hole. We want to, we don't want to do a tap. We want to go through. We know our depth is 20 millimeters all the way through. That's fine. Our angle doesn't matter because our hole goes all the way through. But the main thing here is we have our distance is 2, and then this over here would go through multiple things. We just want to make it line up with our dot that we have over here. And then one advantage of our hole is we can choose which objects to cut. So we don't want to cut through the rivet. So we can just press that button over here. And so it's kind of like doing the hide function, how it will automatically. See, if we actually hide this now, we can see there's a hole cut through these multiple objects. So that's one advantage of doing the hole versus doing the extrusion. You don't have to manually hide stuff, especially if you have a very simple hole. So I'm going to press H. Now, I don't know. No, we can't. We could do multiple holes at once. Let's see. Let's see if we can be smart and try to do multiple holes at once. So let's press this face over here. Alright, we have this face over here. We want to sketch this, and in this particular sketch we want to include this. We want to include that surface. We want to include that one. Now, we could include it all. We could even do what we're doing previously, is we could do this hole once, and then we could just do our pattern up a path. But for this particular one, so say we have these holes over here, we want to include them because we want to make points. Well, I believe there are already points in this sketch, so we can finish this sketch. We can now go and press the H button to do our hole, or if you don't want to press the H button, it's also this one over here, which is hole over here. Alright, so we want to do multiple ones from a sketch. We want to select the sketch points. We want to select this point, please. And this point. And this point. And this point. So we can do all our holes at once. In our particular case here, we don't care about the extents, but you can choose how far you want it to go through. You can choose to flip the direction if you want to go in the other way. But we're not drilling through the rivets anyway. So, and I believe the rivets are all in the 50s, right? Yeah. We're not drilling through the rivets anyway, so we're not really that concerned about starting off from that face. And if we press OK, I believe now we have done all our holes. If we just hide these, look at these. Look at these lovely drilled holes we have here. So we have that. Where's our last one? Oh, our last one is over here. I'm going to pause the video and I'm just going to do the same procedure on the other side. Except when we do these top ones, we're not going to be able to find one hole to overlap, but we're going to need 2 sets of pop rivets, one here and one here. Because as you see here, they don't overlap. So that's fine. I'm going to do 2 separate pop rivets, and that one I'm going to try to do all the holes at the same time to go through all of them. Alright, I'll pause the video. I changed my mind. Instead of pausing the video, I'm just going to have it on. Because you can always just skip through it. It's just YouTube, right? So we need to do our same approach where we are. that doesn't look right. We want to do it between these. We want this, this, and this. There we go. Nice. And what I'm going to do here is I like that circle so much that I'm actually going to rectangular pattern. Yes, I'm going to pick the direction. I want this direction over here. I want this spacing. I want that make sense? Yes. Quantity. So this is the example I was saying before. If we do multiple holes now, later when we drill them, we can just press all those dots and do them all at once. In this particular case, I'm going to drill the hole first, because that might be easier. Hold on. Nope. I don't want that. I actually want to edit this sketch, please. Nope. So I do want to project and include that geometry, yes. But the circle, I actually want on this back wall over here. That wall, that wall. Yes. Minus 96, and I believe I want... Okay. Alright, in this particular case, I'm going to drill the holes first. So we're going to go through create holes. We want to drill from sketches, the sketch points. We want this one, and then we want this one, and then we want... It's actually a lot faster now that I think about it. I press OK, we have those sketch holes, and then all we have to do is we can make our pop rivet from this shape pretty quickly, actually. Because we can go through and we can make a shape. Now, obviously, we are cutting here. We don't want to cut. We want to make a new body. Oh. We're not making the shape that we want, actually. We want a circle. Can I extrude the inside? It's not going to let me do it, is it? Right. Sketch. Just give me that circle, please. Thank you. Done. This is the one I want. Yeah. I'm going to use a new tool here. I'm going to use extend top instead of distance. I want it to go to this object over here. And this one I can't join. I want to make this a new body. Press OK. Now let me just isolate this. So this is the exact thickness of the part that we have here. Now we can use our let's just assume it's 4. Cool, yep, done. And 45 degrees, and let's just say we want it to go out like that. Cool. Is there any fast way to do this? I don't think so, so I just have to, I mean there probably is, but the shape's so simple we may as well do it. 4, sketch, extrude. Alright, there is our pop rivet. I believe if we go and change its material property to steel, and then we press close, and then we unisolate it. Let's just give it a visual inspection. Everything looks fine. Right, and now I believe this part over here is now ready for us to, this particular part we're ready to make a pattern now, pattern along a path. Same thing, we're going to press this object. The path is, as always, this. Our distance is 96, and it's always going to be spacing, and I believe we had 5. We have to do double spacing, that's right. Alright. Cool. That was a lot far. I think that's a lot faster to do it that way, so we'll just do it that way instead. Alright, let's do the holes again, just to show the process. This particular one over here, so we're just going to sketch this shape over here. We're going to include, we want to include, we want to include this geometry. That line over there, that line should be enough. Okay, now let's go over here, let's make a circle again. 3-point tangent, we want this line, and we want this line, and we want, yes. We should have actually picked this one, but it's fine. It should end up being that line anyway, because I believe this is a diamond shape. Okay, we have this shape, and now let's go and rectangular pattern that. We want this object. The directions we want is this direction. We want to say that way, please. And we want our distance to be minus 96. And then how many copies do we want? Oh, no, that's the wrong direction. We want one of those. There we go. So there's 5 in this, 5. There's 5 in this direction over here. We press OK. Cool. We can finish this sketch. We can go and make our holes now, and we can press our multiple parts. We can press this here, there. Press everything, all our holes are made, and like our previous one, we can go sketch over here. We can just go make a circle like this. Yep, done. We can extrude this particular circle. We want it to go, instead of distance, we want 2 objects. We want it to go to here, and we want this to be a new body. And then we press OK. And then this new body over here, we are just going to, we know it's our latest body we made. So we're just going to right click and we're going to isolate that body. We are going to make, let's see if we can actually cheat a bit. Let's make a plane, let's make a mid plane through that. and here, because I'm trying to see if I can just make it even faster. If we do this and then we make a shape over here, for finish, and then we can extrude this. At 45 and press enter, and then I believe we can mirror this. Do. Alright, unisolate. It's looking super fast now. Yeah, that looks great. So we have those rivets done. And then let's just go and copy this, pattern this along the path. We want this shape. The path we want is this line over here. The distance we want is 96. Spacing, please. 96. And there is 6 of these. Alright. Let's go and change our view to visual style, just shaded with visible edges only. So now it looks like we have a really nice structure. Like, oh, yes, look at these. Anyway, this is a really good, this is going to look very similar to your actual design here. You can actually, we need to get rid of this one. When we do our things over here, we don't need our last one, so instead of 6, we only need 5. Right. But over here, this looks like a really simple, not really simple, but it does look, it's going to look really, really nice, especially when we start doing some renderings. And I'm not going to record doing it into 3D because it's all the same steps. You're just finding the size of the location. In fact, when we start to reveal all these other bodies, we'll see that we're just going to be doing the same approach. You're going to be finding a spot over here. Now, based on the location and the size of these things, you don't have a massive amount of choice for your location. So it's probably going to be there into the corner, but I don't think the side stress is not going to be as much as this side's going to be taking more of the load. This is over here is just going to be stopping from twisting, I think. If I'm incorrect, then we just have to do some changes. We might have to, instead of cutting it down into this point, we might have to offset it a bit more and change where our design does its angle from. But I think we'll do our test and we'll see how it goes. But same thing, you're doing your hole here, you're doing your hole there, finding the center places that make so much whiteness, that make good sense. You can, I would recommend, because we want to do our holes, right? And so we've already done half of our truss structure. So what I would say from here is actually remove all these other members that we're not using anymore. Right, so I believe, let me just save this. Half rivet. Let me just see if I can, no, not the, I don't want the paint function, I want the window. If I do this, and I right click and I press remove, how bad is it going to be? Delete. And then I believe we should have a construction plane somewhere. Where's our big plane? Is it this one? No. This one? No. That's the one. We want to show this one. Alright, so let's get all those objects that we have over here. We want to go over here. We want to select all these objects. We want a mirror. We do not want the faces. We want the bodies, please. Did this work? I think it did. Yes. Cool. So we already done the other half. And did they... Uh-oh. What happened here? Did I mix up a thickness part, or... Oh, I think this particular one has... Yeah, okay. So, at the very top, I can't be bothered fixing that, but I could just readjust. This particular one would have to be changed because if we look at this example down here, it has this other member coming up, but that member doesn't exist there. So that's why this rivet in particular, I might change it or I might not. But the point is, we use our mirroring tool, and because we were very clean with our shapes, we can just do that mirroring tool. Yeah, I'm not going to record me doing all the other rivets on the top and bottom, but I will do that another time by myself. And then I'm going to find a way for us to simulate this using its connections. All right, see you then. Bye-bye.